Shalom, welcome to our Parsha Shir, Parshas Akev, Taf Shin Pei Daled. Okay, so we'll say something quickly and then we'll get into the big thing. This, however, what we're about to say, you could give shir after shir after shir on it. And I said to you guys just before that every time I read this pasuk, my heart jumps out of my goof, and I just wanna talk to people about it. Listen to the pasuk. V'amarta bilvavacha koichi v'oitzim yodi, and you will say in your heart, it was my strength and the power of my hand, asli es achayil hazeh, that made for me this wealth. Yeah, I didn't really need to bring that, but it's the pasuk before it. It's a strong pasuk, so I brought it. V'zacharta es Adonai lehecha, and you will remember Hashem, ki hu hanoisein lecha koyach la'asois achayil. He gave you the ability to make wealth, leman hakim es briso, so that you could be makayim his bris, asher nishba lavrisecha kayom hazeh, that was promised to your forefathers on this day, like this day. Listen to these words. So you could read it. I suppose the pasuk, there's no rush on this pasuk, and I suppose very quick you could read it like, you'll remember your God. You'll remember that he gave you the koyach to make money, to be Makayim the bris, meaning you need money to be Makayim the bris. That would be a pashut way of understanding it, yeah? But this, I think, is what it's really saying, is he gave you the ability to make money, leman hakim es brisoy. That koyach to make money is what you need to be Makayim the bris that you have with Hashem. Meaning the same koiches that it takes to make money is the skills that you need to serve the Ribbono Shel Olam. You hear that?
Where are you reading that quote?
It's a pasuk. It's a straight pasuk. It's pasuk. You have a chumash with you?
Yeah.
It's Devarim, Perek Ches, pasuk Yud Ches. Ches Yud Ches.
Okay.
Ches Yud Ches. V'zachar says, read it in English even. You have English there?
You said Yud Chet?
Yeah.
Right?
Devarim 8:18.
Oh, 8:18. Okay, in English, you shall then remember the eternal your God, for it is he who gives you the ability to amass wealth in order to fulfill his covenant that he swore to your forefathers as he is doing today.
Meaning, so you could read it. I never even read it. The way I'm just reading it right now is you could probably read it that he gave you mind to make wealth so that you could serve Hashem with your wealth.
Correct. That's the way it reads.
I never read it like that. For years and years, I read it like the ability to make wealth. You don't need wealth to serve Hashem. You can serve Hashem without wealth. It's the ability to make wealth that he gave you to serve God. Meaning that if you can find out the qualities that are necessary to earn money, you will know the secrets to serving the Ribbono Shel Olam. You with me?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Mamash reads, it reads even better like that. Meaning the skills that it takes to make money. Yeah, like a lazy person. Again, you'll get wacky things, but derech klal. Yeah, alpi derech eretz. Yeah, a lazy person doesn't make money. Yeah, so listen to this. So I typed into the chatbot, give me a list of the ikar koiches to make money that you need, the ikar skills that are necessary to make money, and I've written them in English. And listen to the Hebrew translations that I've given them, yeah? So I doctored the thing. I read the whole thing. We came out with 12, and I put my first ones first, but it's not really in order except for the first one. Number 1, integrity. Number 2, critical thinking and problem solving. 3, communication. 4, time management. 5, networking. 6, sales and persuasion. 7, creativity and innovation. 8, leadership and management. 9, emotional intelligence. 10, marketing and self-promotion. 11, learning and self-improvement. 12, discipline and persistence. That sounds like a good list of skills to help you make money.
Good resume.
Well, that's a good resume. Yeah, you would like that kind of guy if he came into your.
Yeah, of course.
So now listen to the Hebrew. Integrity, das. Critical thinking and problem solving. Communication, dibur. Time management, zrizus. Networking, shalom bayis. Sales and persuasion, chinuch. Creativity and innovation, chidushim. Leadership and management, mashpia. Emotional intelligence, moyach sholet alalev. The brain rules the heart. Marketing and self-promotion, dan b'chaf schus. Learning and self-improvement, makabel. And discipline and persistence, hasmada. I think that's a really good list of things that you need to be over the Shem. Like I said, you could write books and books on that. But I just thought that's every time I read that pasuk, it just jumps out at me that the reason why Yidden are good at making money is because we're good at serving Hashem. So it's one of the skills that Yidden have. You see, I saw today, they're all talking like with everyone's screaming about the Yidden right now with whatever, with people online. And so one of the things they said was Yidden make up 0.2% of American population, and 17% of all billionaires in America are Jewish. And it's the same with all, with all the Jews have got a koyach to make money. Why? Because it's those koyachas that you need to serve the Bono Shalom. We need these people to take time out of their businesses. They can stay with their businesses and keep giving tzedakah, yeah? And if they're fry, they should start giving tzedakah and start keeping Shabbos and be shomer Torah mitzvahs. And then take off 6 hours a day and lecture online to all the Yidden in the world how to make money and as a moshel to how to serve God. And this is one of the things that we didn't talk to you about this yet, Michael, but Yitzi and me were discussing this. I'm going to launch this in another few days, probably next week, going about, like, in my mind, that the academic Jewish year goes from Simchas Torah to Simchas Torah, meaning I take on learning projects from Simchas Torah to Simchas Torah. That's however that worked out. That's how I do it. So that's like, in a sense, like the financial year. So when you're running a business, like Yitzi, you know this, you also know this, Michael. When you're running a business, you know, when it comes to the beginning of the year, whatever it is, January or March or wherever you're working from, the financial year, the secular year, you start thinking a couple of months beforehand, planning and strategizing and working out, what are we going to do with this? Where are we going to go with this? What, we should be taking our Yiddishkeit less seriously? Chas v'shalom, that's ridiculous. We should be taking our Yiddishkeit much more seriously. So when it starts coming to Elul, whenever you're, again, like I said, mine, it's arbitrary. It's Simchas Torah. It could be Shavuos, it could be Rosh Hashanah, it could be anything. Yeah, but Pesach. But for me, so now when I start thinking about Elul, I'm in now like, okay, what am I? Even actually well before that, I start planning what I'm going to start doing, and then I start strategizing for the year ahead. And you can set yourself up for success. Just like, you know, somebody who runs a business, if you're not strategizing, You're not a businessman. You need to have some kind of plan. You need to be putting it together. Why would you treat your Yiddishkeit any differently? Chas v'shalom. Why would you not? Anyway, so that's that. Okay. New thing. Itzy, ready? Okay. So this is actually, I've said this many times to you. Hopefully I'll add a couple new nakudas, but it's the makor for it in the Or Chaim from this week's parsha. Ki ha-mitzvah asher anoichi mitzavacha hayoim. Because the mitzvah, ha-mitzvah, not mitzvos, but the mitzvah that I command you today, tishmun la'asais, that you should guard it to do it, leman tichyun, so that you will live, Risem, and you will multiply, Ubasim v'rashtem esaretz, and you will come to and inherit the land. Asher nishba v'nai l'avosechem, that Hashem commanded commanded to your forefathers.
Where is that?
Oh, so yeah, it's Ches. It's Ches Aleph, 8. Okay. Perek Ches Pasuk 1. Kol ha-mitzvah asher anoichi mitzavach hayoim. What does it mean, mitzvah? Why does it say mitzvos? Hashem gave us 613 mitzvahs. Why one mitzvah? So I'm gonna read the Or Chaim to you a little bit, and then we'll try and understand it. Okay. Kol ha-mitzvah. This entire mitzvah, not all of these mitzvahs. Treat Ladas, we need to know ma mitzvah hizos. What is this mitzvah? V'oid haloi kavama eikev tishma'un. And he's already said that, you're going to guard all of this. So why is he saying this again? Why is he returning and saying this whole mitzvah? You just said at the beginning of the parsha that you have to be shomer the whole Torah. So why kol ha-mitzvah? Achein heina ish Moshe haskil b'libois b'nei Adam. Ki ruach echad yas'aim kekatan u'kegadol. That Moshe is trying to kind of teach the hearts. He's trying to be maskil b'libois, teach the hearts of the people, because there's this ruach, this singular ruach that causes the small and the big alike to stumble and to make a mistake. V'hu sulam lahamit ba'avodas Hashem, and it is a ladder to reduce your avodas Hashem, but it says mederach hachayim, and to leave the derech hachayim, the way of life. Who and what is it? It's this. Ki b'shas ha'adam me mitzvahs Hashem shtayim or shloish me ma'asher tavoina a couple of when a few mitzvahs come his way, he does them. Yeah. Uma gam im yachaziku ba'achas me kol mitzvahs Hashem b'tmidus ubezrizas. Also, this idea of when he hops onto one mitzvah with Tamidus and Zrizus, Yolid Behem Hoylad Ra. It comes from this, what is born from this is something evil, Ra. Lihisatzel B'shah HaMitzvahs, and to become lax in the rest of the mitzvahs, Habaim Liyadim, that come to him. Yeah, so this is the idea of holding, not that, see, there's an idea in it's in the Chazal, and especially by the Talmidei Baal Shem Tov and the Lubavitcher Rebbe, the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe stressed it, and the Alter Rebbe said it as well. There's an idea of there's a certain mitzvah that is shaykh. Each Jew has a kesher to a certain mitzvah. Yeah, a kesher nafshi. Like, for example, the famous one of Scheinberg. Yeah, used to wear all those tzitzis. He had a very special connection with tzitzis. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the idea of saying that one mitzvah is more choshev than any other mitzvahs. That's what he's saying. There's 613 mitzvahs, and what he's going to say, I'm going to miss a few words from Or Chaim because we'll just jump straight in. So he's like saying that. Oh, so 1 second. So magam im yiyu biyadam kama v'kama mea mitzvahs shetimale nafsha b'ktsas mea mitzvahs mam oid pasha negazeh, that this like machla, so to speak, is mispashe, it's spreading out. And specifically in the hearts of the ones who go in the derech of Hashem's Torah. Libazois b'mitzvahs akalos, roisam shehem loimdei Torah makayim and roiva mitzvahs. Like they take lightly certain mitzvahs in how they see them. The ones who are learning Torah and who are being makayim most of the mitzvahs, people will take the other mitzvahs less seriously. V'zehu asoivev yisuri anashim, and this leads to yisurim. V'yimit kvoidam, it will lead to a reduction in their covered. V'yibu yugoinoisam, and it will increase their like sorrows. V'yashbu adam v'yishach ish, and it's going to bring down a man and lower him. Interesting, yeah. What's the inyan of those four things? If a person chaps onto one mitzvah, let's just say limud Torah, and you'll hear people say shakol keneged kulam. It's the greatest mitzvah. Every mitzvah is equal. Every mitzvah is equal, and you could find chazals that say endlessly that this mitzvah is greater than all the other mitzvahs, and it's just to bring out a point. It's to bring out a point. It's to explain something. But no mitzvahs. There's 613 mitzvahs, and they are all as important as each other. So he goes on. So what's the inyan? He says that when a person does this, he chaps onto one mitzvah as being more choshev than all the other mitzvahs, and therefore the other mitzvahs become kal to him. They become light, less choshev. It says it brings on yisurim. It breaks down his covered, causes him sorrows, and it brings the man down. What are those four things all against? What's the common denominator of all those things? What do they all kind of counteract? Yisurim, a miyut of covered, a reduction in honor, sorrows, and bringing a man down, lowering a man.
His ego.
They bring down ego. Why? What's the ego? The ego, not what is the ego? What does the ego do? How does the ego interact with reality? As we know, the ego is fragmented. In the world of the ego, everything is divided up. The whole world is one endless reboy. Division after division after division after division. Fragmentation, isolation, independence. Every word that's team player word, that's the ego. So now he goes on. But Asher Zeh bar Navi Hashem, and this is what the Navi Hashem, meaning Moshe, said, in his Toichocha, when he said Kol mitzvah, Yachais leklalas Torah, he related to the entire, he made relative the entirety of the Torah, le mitzvah achas, to one mitzvah. That he commanded it, that you shouldn't get mistaken like this craziness that we just mentioned. Do not fall into think the Torah is one thing. It's one mitzvah. Why is it one mitzvah? Because it's one mitzvah. It's one commander. The Ratzon Hashem or Pashut. Just like white light is an or pashut, and when you put it through a prism, it splits out into 7 colors. Yeah, 16 million, however you want to cut it. So too the Ratzon Hashem. When you burn the singular Ratzon Hashem through Olam Hazer, it divides out into 613 colors. Each one of those colors is called a mitzvah. So when you're touching each individual color, you need to know that you're touching himself, mamash. That's Ratzon Hashem. It's like when you take one drop out of the sea, the entire sea, the taste of the entire sea is within that drop. You can experience the entire sea from one teeny drop of the ocean, one teeny drop of the ocean. So he goes on. It's a really beautiful Or Chaim. You should really look it up yourselves if you have the English. Yitzi, did you get the English Or Chaim? Yeah. Read this, you'll love it. Go through the whole thing. It's pasuk. It's Ches Aleph. It's a whole long thing. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll just pull out another couple of points and then finish on a really beautiful idea. So basically, he says that even though that there's a big minyan of a big number of mitzvahs, Yesod Echad Binyan Echad Lahem. They are one foundation and one binyan, one building. Madem Shavim Mamash, the Dimyan awareness, and they're Mamash one mitzvah. One mitzvah. So, okay, I'm not going to go. Let's finish off with this idea. So, it's like this. What was pshat with Haman? Haman and Russia had everyone in the whole land bowing. One man. What was like, what's the Indian? That's crazy. One man wasn't bowing to him, and it was driving him nuts. Why? Because he wasn't after power. He was after shleimus. Shleimus atuma. If he was after power, and you've got 1 billion people bowing to you, or probably in those days, what, say 3 million people bowing to you, and there's one guy not bowing to you, it's batul mavutul. But when you're looking for shleimus, when you're looking for a yichud, yeah, then that one is shakul keneged kuloi. That one is as valuable as the other 3 million. You need the whole thing. With me? That's how the Torah works. If ever we remove one mitzvah from the Torah, the whole binyan crumbles. And when we're mugdish one mitzvah of the Torah, and you can think like, certain Yidden have been mugdish this Inyan of Yishuv Yisrael. Yeah? Certain people have been mugdish the Inyan of Tznius, or of the iPhones or things. Certain people have been mugdish the Inyan of Limud Torah. Yeah, I know that Limud Torah you need Limud Torah because it brings to mitzvahs. But to say that it's more than another mitzvah, Chachamim said that it's greater than all the other mitzvahs because it brings to mitzvahs. So then what's greater? It brings you to mitzvahs. They said that it's greater because it brings you to mitzvahs. So its greatness comes from the fact that it brings you to mitzvahs. So it comes out that the mitzvahs are greater. But they said not, so that it comes out all the same, and then you'll find places in Igeres HaKodesh where I think it's Tes Zion, Igeres HaKodesh Tes Zion, where he says that Limud Torah was for the generation of the Amoraim. Now the Ikar Mitzvah is Chesed, and Tzedakah.
Okay. Rabbi, why does it say in so many places like Talmud Torah Keneged Kulam, or there's only 10 mitzvahs in the commandments, all of them are in the first one, or 2 mitzvahs that you get long life for, it says specific. So the Torah does stress certain mitzvahs.
Absolutely. We said that in the beginning, meaning that you, like, whenever if you read the Chabad Sfarim, if you read any Hasidic Sfarim, yeah, whenever you're learning about Hanukkah, it sounds like Hanukkah's the Spitzhug.
Nah.
The top, but then you get to Sukkot, and no, Sukkot is the top, and then you get to Pesach. No, Pesach is the top. So I sat in a sukkah of a Choshev man one time, and someone said, "Rebbe, we're in this sukkah." Said, "Rebbe, what's your favorite hug?" And without skipping a beat, he went Sukkot. He said, "But ask me again at Pesach."
Yeah.
Meaning we stress the mitzvahs. You're right. In this situation, we say tzedakah's the ikar mitzvah. In this situation, we say Talmud Torah is the ikar mitzvah. In this situation, we say shmita. We say tzitzis. We say tefillin. We say Shabbos. We say, the 3 aveiros is Gil Yirayos, Avodah Zarah, and Shvichas Damim. They're more chomer than the others. It's all gezeres hakasuv. That every mitzvah is part. Like if you're missing a finger, you're not shalem. You're not shalem. So you could say, but the heart is a more vital organ than a finger, or the brain is a more vital organ than the appendix. Yeah. But when it comes to shleimus, everything is absolutely essential. See, it's when you're looking at the world, and this is the whole point. See, one of the problems with accepting that we are the chosen people, the problem with accepting that we're the chosen people is Guyver, which you would think it's the opposite. A person says, I'm no different to anybody else. I'm not more special than anyone. Yeah, you would think that's humility. It's actually Guyver. I'll explain. When you've got a company, yeah, you've got a CEO, you've got a managing director, you've got a you've got like a division manager, and then you've got the guys in the mailroom. Let's just make it simple, yeah? So you've got a hierarchy: CEO, managing director, regional manager, and the mail guys. Now, when you're looking at the company as an organic whole, who's more important? Take away the mail guys, you've got no business. The CEO is no more important than anybody else. When you're looking at the big picture, when you're looking at the company divided and fragmented, well, then obviously the CEO is much more choshev, just like the brain is more choshev than the heart, which is more choshev than the liver, that is more choshev than the kidneys, which is more choshev than the toes. But when you're looking at the Kuma Shalema, the big picture, and we need a complete person, you can't be without a toe. Without a toenail, you're a puzzle. The Korban is puzzle if it's missing something like that. So when you're looking at the world humbly, you will say, fine, I'm the chosen nation. Show me what I'm here to do. I don't feel more. What would I be? Who's more important, the teacher or the student? Without the student, there's no need for a teacher. Without a chosen nation, there's no need for an oilam. So without an oilam, there's no need for a chosen nation. So who's more choshev, the umas oilam or the yidden? It's coming from a fragmented perspective on reality. Stop looking at the world in all these. Look at it on an organic whole. So when somebody says, "I'm not the chosen, but I'm no better than anybody else," that's coming from Guyver. That's coming from ego. Because otherwise you accept your responsibility, you accept your position, you realize that it's got nothing to do with you, you just got chosen this, or even on a more practical level, you're sitting at the top of your business. You know, there's a lot of people who have that thing called imposter syndrome. You heard of this? Imposter syndrome is like these people who, like a lot of people have imposter syndrome, meaning they're normal, regular people. They hit on a good idea and A turns to B, turns to C, and all of a sudden they're a billionaire in like 2 years. And now everyone's treating them like they're God, and they have this imposter syndrome. Why? Because they're just a normal person. Like everyone's just a normal person. When it happens to you, like, and if you got more skills, and some people do have more talents than somebody else, you've just got more to be thankful to a bunch of. Not even, I mean, to say thankful, that's already a level of you've got more responsibilities. It's a bigger achrayus. You're able to sit in front of a group of 300 people and bring them to tshuva, and you're not doing that. That's terrible. It's a huge responsibility. It doesn't make you better than anybody else. There is no better or worse. There's just different. I've told you this before now. When I was working there, I told you when I had that job in the in the kitchen of a private hospital in the dungeon in Hendon. Oh, it was mamish a dungeon. Yeah, and I had the dishwashing thing. You know, the industrial dishwasher where you open it up, you put in the thing, you close it, it goes, and it sprays out boiling hot vapor. Your glasses steam up, you schwitz like crazy, and then you open it up again, and it's endless. Just more and more dirty dishes come, and it breaks a man. You know, I did this for a few months, And I just remember there being broken, thinking how disgusting the job is and how low I'm getting paid nothing. I'm getting paid like minimum wage, and it's the most horrible thing in a dungeon by myself. And then I started to realize that if I stopped doing this, the whole hospital would grind to a halt. Quite literally. Everything would just stop. The patients wouldn't have any food. There'd be no clean crockery, so the patients wouldn't have anything to eat. Then the doctors wouldn't have anything to eat. Everyone would go on strike. And I realized, wow, this whole operation is on my shoulders. This is do you hear what I'm saying? So on a level of kuma shalema, which is a level of humility, there's no like, I'm not better than anyone else. You're right, you're not better than anybody else, but you have a responsibility that other people don't have. That's it. So that's this inyan of all the mitzvahs creating this singularity. And that was Haman. Haman was looking for a yichud of Tumah, a yichud of Avodah Zarah, where it wasn't okay that one person was not bowing to him, because it wasn't about the amount of people bowing to him. It was that there was a shleimus in people bowing to him. There was an utter bittul to him, a complete bittul. So now it comes out like this. So all the mitzvahs, when we understand, so Hashem, we call all the mitzvahs ha-mitzvah, one mitzvah. And that's why the kid is called a bar mitzvah, not a bar mitzvahs. Because this is the point of Yiddishkeit, is to connect yourself to the yichud of the Ribbono Shel Olam behind the mitzvahs. Behind the riboy of mitzvahs is the singular creator, and the mitzvahs are there to bind us to him. So we're called a bar mitzvah. We're still bar mitzvah. You just become a bar mitzvah. But now us three are all bar mitzvah. So even though there's endless mitzvahs, 613 mitzvahs that divide into endless details, we're always connecting to the mitzvah. The mitzvah is a kesher, it's about the mitzvah, the one who commands. So now listen to this. We're going to say in Yom Kippur, yeah? Al chait shechatanu lefanecha ba'oines. Al chait shechatanu lefanecha bebivlei das. Al chait shechatanu lefanecha begilui arayas. Al chait shechatanu lefanecha bedas v'mirma. Yeah? Al chait shechatanu, it says, let's just jump forward. Al chait shechatanu lefanecha beyetzer hara. What's the problem with that statement? Al chait shechatanu lefanecha beyetzer hara. You just did one chait with your yetzer hara. Al chait shechatanu lefanecha beyetzer hara. Al chatayim shechatanu lefanecha beyetzer hara. Not one chait. All of them are al chait on the chait, or on a chait that I did with ba'oines, that I did on a chait. But why is it just chait? It should say chatoyim. You with me? And then another important thing, it says lefanecha. What's the hava meaner, lefanecha? We're always in front of Ribbono Shel Olam. Al chait shechatanu b'tumas v'sayim. Al chait shechatanu. Al chatayim shechatanu b'yetzer hara. That's what it should read, no? Al chatayim shechatanu b'yetzer hara. Al chatayim shechatanu b'yoidim v'lo yoidim. What's al chait shechatanu lefanecha? B'yoidim v'lo yoidim. By the way, just this is a side point, but extremely important. We have lots and lots of piyutim, you can call them. Avinu Malkeinu, Kilo Elam Chastoi, Al Chait Shechatanu, where we say a certain thing, La'olam Voy, or L'chai Ho'elamim, L'chai Ho'elamim, L'chai Ho'elamim. Yeah, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu. Whenever we've got some kind of thing that we're saying that has a statement repeated over and over and over and over and over again, you must know. I heard this from Orloway. You must, from Avigdor Miller. Can't remember. You must know that the ikka of that piyut is the thing that you're saying over and over and over again. And the thing that is new is an excuse to say the thing that you're saying over and over and over again. It's the exact opposite of what we would think. The Avinu Malkeinu is the Ikka of Avinu Malkeinu, and the list of all the other stuff is an excuse for you to keep saying Avinu Malkeinu. It's more than just an excuse, but the Ikka is the Avinu Malkeinu. And on Shabbos, when we say in Pesukei Zimra, what is it? Kilo Lam Chastoi, Kilo Lam Chastoi, Kilo Lam Chastoi, or L'chayo Elamim, L'chayo Elamim, L'chayo Elamim. Yeah, Al Chet Shechatanu Lefanecha, Al Chet Shechatanu Lefanecha, Al Chet Shechatanu Lefanecha. See, it's a singular Chet, and the Chet is to him. There's only one Chet. The Chet is when you put your panim before his panim. Da lifnei miata oimeid. Da lepenei miata oimeid. Be makasha yourself to the face of the one who you're standing in front of. Meaning, what's the face? Panim, not like in English, face means facade, which means external, but in Hebrew, face means panim. That means the mensch. You see, you look at a person's face, you know who he is. You look at the back of his neck, like paro, which is lashon orif. Yeah, you don't know anything about the person, but you look at a person's face, you see something about the mensch. Through his eyes, his face. Panim means the panemius. That's who the person is. So da lifnei miata oimeid. Yeah, that's davening. The whole of davening is encapsulated in that statement. Da, be makash yourself to the face of who you're standing in front of. So it says, "Al chet shechatanu lefanecha." The chet, there's only one chet. The chet is that I put my panim before your panim, Rabbeinu Shloim. The chet is that I took myself more seriously than you. The chet is that I believed that I was a Metzias in front of your Metzias. That was the chet. And therefore it came out in this, it came out in that, it came out in this, it came out in that. It's the exact same inyan, lahavdil. It's for Keret, the same inyan as the one mitzvah, the Rabbeinu Shloim, going through the prism of this world, diffracts into 613 mitzvahs. Me taking myself more seriously than Hashem diffracts into all the al chaitz. Ba'oines, b'vli adas, b'gilu yarayas, b'hir alei, b'vidui peh, v'chulei v'chulei. All of these different avayos, it's the exact same inyan. But now, what do we say after al chait shechatani? Remember? The next thing we say, al chatayim shenachnu chayavim alei, al chatayim shenachnu chayav aleihem oila, al chatayim shenachnu chayavim aleihem chatas, al chatayim shenachnu chayavim korban oila v'yored, al chatayim shenachnu chayavim aleihem kol minei oinshim abba misas beisim v'chulei. Al chatayim. Why does it now flip to chatayim? Because we're talking about the oynesh. Now we're in this world. When we're talking about, there's a difference between a guy who steals from one man and a guy who steals from two men in this world. In the world of reality, there's no difference. That guy can steal from one man, can steal from two men, can steal from 1,000,000 men. It's the same inyan. But Bernie Madoff, yeah, gets much more time in jail than I don't know, some petty thief who stole $100 from a Costco. Because in this world, it is al chatayim. You with me? The panemius is a singular pagam. The pagam is I take myself too seriously. But in this world, it's chatayim. It spreads out into lots of chatayim. So it's exactly the same inyan. And now this teaches us, why do we say that the Ben Olam Haba has shown it, what is it? Has shown halachas, read it, you see? Has shown halachas. You're still on mute, you're on mute.
Tana de Beliyahu, Pol Hashone Halachos Bechol Yom Muftach Lo Shehu Ben Olam Haba. Shenemar Halichos Olam Lo Al Tikra Halichos Ella Halachos.
Shtei halachos. Why do you have to learn 2 halachas to be a ben olam haba? Not enough one? It's a good question, eh? You have to learn 2 halachas. 2 halachas. Why? Because that's the whole point. Hashem is a yichud. If you would just learn 1 halacha, you could say, well, Hashem is this halacha. That's it. But that's not what it's about. It's about Hashem. It's about bringing Hashem into the reboy of Olam Hazeh. So you have to learn 2 halachas. Then you're ben Olam Haba. Meaning bringing the singularity of the Rabboni Shalom into the reboy of this world. That's 2 halachas. Okay. We should be zocher. Mike, you want to add something?
No. I want to wish you good Shabbos.
Oh, good Shabbos, good Shabbos. Be zocher to internalize this. B'ezrat Hashem.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. Thank you very much. Bye, guys.
Shabbos.